Team Fortress 2's Capture the Flag game mode is often seen as a noob-friendly one, because oftentimes new players will recognize the Capture the Flag style of gameplay from other games. So it should come to no surprise that with a large new player attraction, there will be many repetitive and common sentry placements with varying level of quality. Turbine is a map with relatively defined sentry placements, so finding common ones here isn't nearly as difficult as some other maps. My name is Communist Space Bear, and this is Common Sentry Placements. Now I did a video similar to this one about a year and a half ago on Payload Bad Water, and it was more of an analysis of sentry placements. However, it was called the best sentry placements at TF2. So because of the kind of different style of video, I felt justified in changing the title and trying out a bit of a new style. This video is kind of an experiment with how I want to make my videos. For all of the roughly 6 people who end up watching this video, let me explain what it's about. This series is meant to analyze sentry placements that are commonly seen in PubMatch, and my phone just went off. In this video we're going to be taking a look at CTF Turbine. Turbine is a Capture the Flag map that is often held to the same standard as 2-Fort when it comes to criticism. It was added to the game in the Pyro update in 2008, and along with Fastlane it was the first map to be added to TF2 that was community created. It received a major patch in 2014 and was briefly added to the competitive maps list for all of 4 days in October of 2016. For the sake of this video, I'm going to divvy the map into 3 major sections. The first is going to be the intel/spawn area, followed by the hallway area, and then of course mid. I'm going to go ahead and pull 2 sentry placements from each one of these areas and show them off and analyze how well do they really work out. This first sentry placement we're going to be taking a look at sits right underneath the vent in the intelligence room. Of the 2 that I'll be showing you from this room, this tends to be the less common one that I see, but I'm still going to look at it nonetheless. Now, by the very nature of this sentry placement being in the intelligence room, there's no way to get around it. There's no back way you can go to avoid it like if in the hallway area, and you have to destroy it in order to get to the intelligence. However, this by no means makes this a perfect sentry placement. There's still plenty of issues with this placement. For example, the sentry can easily be destroyed from the vent if you look away for too long. This is especially true if there's a class like Demo or Soldier up in the vent that can easily spam projectiles down at your sentry. And because the sentry sits in between 2 doorways and below the vent, it can easily be attacked from more than one side. The best thing that this sentry placement has going for it is the fact that it watches over the intelligence directly, so there's no way of getting around it. You have to destroy the sentry in order to get to the intelligence. However, all things considered, this is not the only sentry placement that I commonly see in the intelligence room on Turbine. Now, this sentry placement is one that honestly rather surprises me. The biggest problem with this placement is the fact that it can be spammed and taken out really easily from quite a ways away. Anyone standing far enough back outside of the room has a pretty easy shot to spam this. The best thing that this placement has going for it is once again the fact that it covers the intelligence really well. However, in my personal opinion, the cons of this placement far outweigh the benefits. It's really easy to be taken out, and honestly I'm really surprised that I see this one as often as I do for how easy it is to take out. Now this sentry placement is actually one that I tend to use frequently. I find pretty good success using this placement. Assuming you can manage to keep the sentry alive, it does a very good job of locking down that hallway. However, there are 2 major issues that I have with this placement. The first one being that there's an easy way to get around it, or 2 actually. There's 2 other entrances into the intel room besides going through the hallway. The other issue I tend to have with this placement is how easily it can be peeked around the corner and be spammed with projectiles. However, if you can manage to keep the sentry alive, it does a really good job of defending the hallway. Now this placement I tend to see more commonly than the one I just showed. However, in my personal opinion, I prefer the other one over this one, and for a few reasons. Obviously, since this one is so close to the other one, the issue with there still being backways into the intelligence room is still true here. However, I have also found this one to be more easy to peek than the other, given that there's more cover when you look around the corner. That being said, I personally just happen to find more success with the first placement from this section. I just tend to find that this one is at kind of a weird angle. I tend to find that building in the middle of this map can be risky for many reasons. The first being that you really need a strong team behind you in order to maintain these type of positions. They can be spammed from multiple angles and are pretty easy to take out if you're not well coordinated. Nonetheless, with a good team, these can be quite powerful positions. The best thing they have going for them is that you have to get past them to get to your intelligence. And when placed right, they can offer denial of the entire area. However, they are obviously not without flaw. This first position, for example, is pretty easy to peek from the hallway on the left, as it doesn't reach the wall all the way on the left, so you can just stand there and spam the sentry. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the other one. Now, I personally have had more success with this position on this container, and even though the sentry doesn't reach the back wall in the hallway, I still find it to be more effective overall. This sentry placement has the same advantages as the other placement, however I seem to find it to be more effective at denying the area. The main issue this one has is its inability to reach the wall in the hallway, so people can just stand at the back of the hallway and spam the sentry. However, shooting a few rounds down there or just using the Wrangler tend to fix these issues. And even though it isn't directly in front of the doorway on the right, I personally find that it tends to watch that door a little better. Because of this, I tend to use this sentry placement more than I use the other one if I'm going to be building in mid. That being said, these are just sentry placements that I tend to see commonly, hence the name of the video, which is now coming to a close. That being said, I would like to personally thank you all for watching this video, and it did take me quite a bit of time to make, so a like would be appreciated. If you have any feedback or criticism or ideas for other maps I should do, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear them. This video is quite a different style from the one I did previously, and personally I tend to like this style a little more, so I think I might stick with it. Feedback on this would obviously also be welcome. That being said, I'd like to thank you all for watching this video, and I will hopefully see you in another video soon.